One of the things that I did, but I would have done even more, was I waited to get a lot of my supplies, if you will, until I got out there. And that's one of the nice things about serving in a stateside mission, is that I didn't have to make sure I had everything that I needed beforehand. So I went out and I didn't have my winter coat yet or boots or anything. And so it gave me a chance to go out and actually see what the other elders had been using. So that way I could, ask their advice and get their thoughts and their input. And so that was really beneficial for me. So as soon as I saw what the missionaries had been wearing, I went to the store and bought a winter coat. I went and bought boots or anything else that I needed. And I needed boots because we would sometimes be riding our bikes in a foot of snow. And so I was really glad that I got some good boots. And, you obviously want to make sure you get really warm gloves and whatnot. But I would normally go with like I'd get thermals and then a long sleeve shirt and wear my winter coat, and that made a big difference and helped us to stay warm. So I was glad I had an umbrella. Umbrella's really good. It did rain quite a bit as well. So you really have to prepare for all four seasons when you go to Minnesota. And so I didn't take all of that right when I left, but I was able to acquire it and get it as needed as well. And so that really helped. A few other things that were good to know. As far as transportation, I did have a bike, but I waited until I was out on my mission to buy a bike. There are lots of bike stores, and so the thing that I learned is that those that tried to go cheap on their bikes normally ended up spending the most money maintaining them and fixing them as time went on. So I was glad that I didn't splurge and buy some ridiculously expensive bike, but was able to buy one that was decent enough that wouldn't hold me over. And along the story of bikes, one funny story is I remember I was training a new missionary, and we went and bought him a new bike, and he got it, and we were going out and visiting. That first night he was out in the mission field, we went to go and visit with, I can't remember if we were visiting some members or going to a teaching appointment, but we were crossing a street and he got hit by a car. And I remember just having this terrified feeling that I am going to kill this missionary that I am training. And he ended up being okay. And his bike the pedal was a little bit twisted, but it was an easy fix. And so we were also glad that he didn't buy a cheap bike. Otherwise that could have made his next 2 years kind of miserable too. But I think just the biggest thing that I can say as a takeaway is just to make sure that you are ready for anything that could possibly happen, because it's a lot like Utah weather. It can just be raining one day and then snowing and then bright and shiny and sunny the next day. So you have to be flexible, I guess, is the best advice I can give on what to take.